Today, President Biden signed a wide-ranging executive order aimed at improving police accountability. In a moment, we're going to hear from the head of the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association to get his reaction. But here's what President Biden said.
This executive order is going to deliver the most significant police reform in decades. It applies directly under law to only 100,000 federal law enforcement officers, all the federal law enforcement officers. And though federal incentives and best practices that are attached to it, we expect the order to have significant impact on state and local law enforcement agencies as well.
It comes on the 2-year anniversary of George Floyd's death and will in part direct all federal agencies to revise their use of force policies, create a national database of officers fired for misconduct, and encourage state and local police to tighten limits on chokeholds and no-knock warrants. The order comes days after the Justice Department, for the first time in nearly 2 decades, made a major change to its use of force policy for federal agents. So obviously, the two go hand in hand. In a memo issued by Attorney General Merrick Garland to the FBI, the ATF, the DEA, the U.S. Marshals Service, Bureau of Prisons, agents are now told they have a duty to intervene if they see other law enforcement officers using excessive force. Quote, officers will be trained in and must recognize and act upon the affirmative duty to intervene to prevent or stop, as appropriate, any officer from engaging in excessive force or any other use of force that violates the Constitution, other federal laws, or department policies on the reasonable use of force. The memo is also specific about when deadly force can be used. Quote, it is the policy of the Department of Justice to value and preserve human life. Officers may use only the force that is objectively reasonable to effectively gain control of an incident while protecting the safety of the officer and others. Officers may use force only when no reasonably effective, safe, and feasible alternative appears to exist. The previous policy had slightly different and broader language that afforded officers more latitude. Now, in the past few years, a lot of state and local police forces have already updated their use of force and duty to intervene policies, but as regular viewers know, I tend to be very pro-police. And from my perspective, part of being pro-police is being pro-accountability for the bad apples. But you know, that can be a delicate balance. And so the question here I have is, how do the rank and file feel about this? Does it put them at risk for not acting, or are these sound changes that are good for everyone? Earlier I spoke to Larry Cosme, National President of the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. All right, so tell us what the response from your organization, from the rank and file, are to these changes.
I mean, we're welcoming change. It's always important to welcome change when you're trying to modernize policing in America. And obviously, the rank and file always gets concerned when there's new policies that come out, and it becomes worrisome for them. But you know, rest assured that we at the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association are always looking after their interests and making sure that we have a seat at the table in collaboration and their deliberation with the Department of Justice on these policies.
Now, part of this, as we talked about, related to when deadly force can be used, et cetera. But there's more to this. There's updates, for example, on officers' duty to render medical care, et cetera. Is there anything in these new policies that is particularly concerning to you or the rank and file? Or is this something sort of across the board that you guys have worked with the Department of Justice on to come up with these updates?
There's nothing specifically that stands out, but the duty to intervene, it always becomes a little concerning with some folks. But, you know, quite frankly, right now that's something that the men and women in the federal law enforcement community are doing already, you know, especially with the rendering of aid. And what the purpose of law enforcement is to protect and serve the communities that they all serve, and that's across the board for everyone. So overall, there's not a major concern about the policy. I think it's pretty straightforward, and it's a policy that we can live with and work with. And obviously, like, there's bad apples in every profession, and those that are not acting in the appropriate way will be held accountable. So this policy is not going to ever stop someone like that that's a bad apple, other than holding them accountable. And it's always good that it's laid out for the rank and file that's coming in on the entry level side of the House.
Well, that's good to hear that's the response. I'm relieved to hear it. Are you concerned about how to define it? I mean, you know, an officer is out there, right, in the heat of the moment, and
yes,
they know in the back of their heads that, well, I've got this this duty to intervene if an officer is crossing the line. Are you concerned about there being some dispute or debate in the field about what it means to cross the line for a police officer?
Yeah, that's always a concern because obviously everyone perceives a threat differently, and obviously that's what in the Grant versus everything's based on the Supreme Court decision of Grant versus Connor. That's how with the use of force and how the standards are established for the use of force and what it calls for. But there's always a concern when someone perceives something. I may go into a situation. When I was actively employed as a federal agent, you go into a situation where you may perceive a threat differently because I saw a weapon that not necessarily my partner may have seen, and that's why I always advocate for ongoing training and continuous training, so that way whether it's in de-escalation tactics, self-defense tactics, or control tactics of any nature before it leads up to less than lethal and then ultimately the deadly force scenario. Yeah.
All right, Larry Cosme, I have to say, as I said before, it's good to hear that it sounds like you guys are supporting generally these changes, because I do think that this has to be a collaboration between the rank and file officers and those making the decisions in order for this stuff to work. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.